Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to React Indie, Girls Last Tour, React Indie. I already said that. Tonight we're on episode 10. So, what happened last time? Last time, was actually an insane episode. We had the Robo situation, right? We met the Robo, we met the fish, we found the fish. The fish was alive. It was the only one left of its kind. That's very sad, and that's like tragic, and that's like doom energy, you know? That like, the fish is going extinct, and we're looking at the last of its species, and it has no chance of ongoing. I mean, holy crap. Okay, that's an entire another thing. I don't know. What I want to talk about first before I even get into any of that is the camera. So time, right? Time's a crazy concept. And the camera has dates on the photographs. And there was a comment, shout out to that, whatever comment that was, appreciate you, that was like, yo, look at the times. So this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at the times. Look, I got a drawing pad and I wrote the first date. You see it? Bing, 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 bing. So I'm going to go through, and I'm probably going to cut most of this out, and I'm going to find every camera that I can and figure out what's going on with that. But yeah, so this first one's from episode 4, and it was taking a picture of you with the statue. This is the first one I found. I don't think there was one in episode 3, because that was when Hanakawa actually gave them the camera. And I think they only started using it this episode. So I'm assuming all of these ones are going to be very close together. Camera itself doesn't have a date unless it's like in the photo, it looks like. Yeah, so like this next one is like 2 hours, or like, yeah, 2 hours, what, 14 minutes later in the day? Because this is 8:06:15:23. So I'm not going to write that one down because it's just same day. And I'm guessing most of them are going to be like that. It's crazy that this is how we have to read into the timeline in the show, is we have to go through and actually like look at the camera. Like, that's our clue. And I'm probably gonna miss a few of these, honestly, but as long as we get like the first one and the last one, that's really what matters here, because that's gonna give us the starting point and that's gonna give us the ending point. This was such a good episode, by the way. Episode 5 with them talking about their bed, like the apartment. That part where they zoom out is so good. Right here, this is actually kind of like, that's golden right there. That's what we're looking for, man. Okay, is there any camera stuff going on here? Also, I have I'm gonna just tell y'all real quick, just because I'm filling space at this point, but this is important. I kind of have like a mini challenge that I'm doing for myself for this episode, where like last episode was like longer than any of the other Girls Last Tour episodes by like 20 minutes, right? Because I actually like started talking, which, you know, you'd think I would do that more often, considering that's kind of like the job that I'm trying to do right here. Job, not meaning job, but more meaning my role in this is that I talk about the thing I'm looking at, right? And I almost hit an hour on Girls Last Tour, and I was thinking, dang, what a crazy show to almost hit an hour on. So I was thinking, dang, what if I actually just do that on the next one? So that's like the very low-key challenge. I'm not gonna like pad for time. If I run out of things to say, it's GG. But this at least is something important that we can look for, right? Because timeline, we don't know how. Oh my gosh, this moment was so funny. Wait, I'm just gonna show y'all. Look at this. It was when she was like, in together we're right here. She's so stupid. I love her so much. I completely lost my train of thought. That's what you does to me, bro. Also, they bathe a lot. They shower a lot. But that's like, I don't know. Baths are OP. Like, I don't even have anywhere I'm going with that. So this is what happens when I'm trying to fill dead air, bro. I'm just trying to find the camera, dog. Yeah, they're there taking another bath. I mean, this must mean that their lives are enhancing, right? Because originally they had only taken like 4 baths by the time they took the first one, but they've taken like 5 more since then. And they're eating potatoes, they're eating well. You know what's a crazy thing? I'll actually talk about this while I'm scrolling here and trying to find these. So they keep running into people, right? They ran into these 2 people, and then they ran into the robot. The robot doesn't really count. Here's another one. Wow, 2 months later. In between this, I'm gonna write the episode numbers. Ep3. This is Ep5, 6. Wait, it is Ep6. Okay, so from Ep3 to Ep6, we moved 2 months in the future, almost 3. They keep meeting people, but then they keep leaving them, which is crazy to me, because the way I would think of it is, as soon as I find someone else that I'm like jamming with, and they're not like a crazy axe murderer, I'm sticking with them to the end. Like, you're my squad now. I don't want to just be with my one girl if I can be with an entire group, you know? Like, let's form a group. Let's travel together. Power in numbers. A little bit of a risk with, like, running out of food, but, like, at least for like a social element, I'm surprised they haven't linked up at all. There's probably something to say there. Let me write this one down real quick. 32, 30, 10, 25, 11, 24. Also tells you the time of day, which is kind of nice, right? Okay, so we've already moved up 2 months. That's pretty substantial. Moving on to episode 7 now. But it's like, yeah, so we meet Hanakawa, and I guess he wants to like continue his map thing. But it almost felt like as soon as they met that they knew they weren't gonna stick together. You know? Like these two at least, like Yu and Chi are so comfortable with each other that it like I could never see them alone. You know? Like what if like, and this is dark and this isn't gonna happen, or at least I hope it never happens. I don't the show would be really feeling itself if it went this hard. Like if one of them died, you know? Like what the other one is just donezo. I would almost think of it like a married couple. Not in the romantic way at all, because there's none of that energy going on. Or at least I can tell. Wait. Oh, we hit a new year. Wait, am I? No, we didn't. Oh no, this is another month. Sorry, I'm just stupid. Sorry, I'm just stupid. But yeah, if like one of them died, like, okay, so there's this concept, right? Not even concept, more just like a thing that happens that I've heard of. So I don't know, don't quote me on this, except, no, you quote me on this, I dare you. There's like an old couple, right? Like a married man, married woman, or married whatever, look, we'll be inclusive, married whatever you want. Look at that, look at me go. Point being, they've been together, let's say 60 years, you know? Got together in their 20s, now they're like 85, and they're together, you know? And then one of them dies, and then like the next day the other one dies, because it's just like, well, I'm not gonna live without you, and as soon as you're done, as soon as you've signed out the game, like I'm out, you know? And it's like, and I've heard that before, maybe that's just like a romantic like thing that doesn't actually happen, but it's a cute idea, like that there's like, it's almost like your other half left, and so you leave too, because it's just natural, right? And there's also like the concept that you can like give up or whatever, like if you mentally die and you like give up mentally, then that'll like cause your systems to like begin to shut down or whatever to a degree. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I was just talking about that with somebody earlier today, so it's kind of fun to bring up. Another photo. I think this is just later in the day, probably. Yeah, 11:07, 21. Man, it's 11:39 at night, and they're cooking their dough. That's crazy to me. So already, we've only moved 3 months, which is interesting to me. But so like that thing I was applying, where like Yu and Chi, they seem like, I mean, they were young when Grandpa happened, and they had to leave their whatever community they were with, which we still don't know much about. There's also a side conversation. Look at, I'm actually gonna write this down. Grandpa question mark on whether they share a grandpa or not. I don't know how much there is to say there, but point being, ever since then, that moment with the grandpa, all they've had is each other, right? And it's like this crazy bond, I feel like. Oh man, there's also some you could talk about. Wait, give me the photo. I need the timestamp. There's also like some you can talk about with even like capturing moments in like through the camera, through memory, especially in a world that like the past has been forgotten. Like we don't have photos of what civilization looked like, or at least we haven't seen photos of what civilization looked like when the city was flourishing. So like they're like making a legacy within the ashes, bro. But okay, back to my original point of them two together. Like if one of them died, I feel like the other one would be so lost. I mean, it would be like they lost the other half, because like that's just how tight I feel their bond to be, you know? Especially when you contrast it to the people they've met, you know? They like meet Hanakawa or whatever. There he is. What's up, man? They meet him, but it's not like a frick. It's not like they kept staying with him or whatever, because all they really needed was each other, which is the most adorable thing I've ever said. But that's like all that, like they're comfortable with that. They don't feel like they need to continue to buff out their space with more and more social people. I mean, and like I see it as like a lonely thing, you know. And like what I said earlier, why wouldn't you make your group just bigger if you have the resource? Like if it's not a resource issue, why wouldn't you just keep making your group bigger? Like that seems like a very natural thing for me. But I mean, what am I, like socialized to want socialization? right? There we go, little structure there. Just because, like, these two... Sorry, I saw one just now, a camera. These two weren't socialized in that way, right? They didn't have like, they grew up a little bit with the grandpa thing that we don't know much about, but past that point, all they've really had is each other, which is all they really needed. And so, like, they don't think they need more, and maybe they just don't need more, right? I mean, they don't seem like they care that much if Hanakawa stays or goes, because they just kind of left and they waved him off. And you know, there was the brief mention of him, like, after the fact of, like, dang, we're never gonna see those people again, was kind of the idea. And Chi felt kind of uncomfortable with that for great reason. I mean, I find that thought very scary, right? Which is a thought you can apply back to, like, your own life. I mean, like, think back to, like, elementary school, if you know, or some early stage of your life, like really early childhood, and think about some of the people you knew there. Like, when's the last time you saw them, right? Are you ever gonna see them again? Probably not. At least most of them. Maybe you'll go to, like, a high school reunion. That's something. Assuming you're out of high school, that's an assumption to make. But, like, you know, one day you'll go to that. Maybe, if you want. And not all of them will be there, but some of them will be. And maybe that's the first time you've seen them in a long time. Like, and, like, Chi was kind of uncomfortable with that. I've sometimes flipped their names, by the way. So sorry. Hopefully you can navigate that. But yeah, Chi seemed kind of uncomfortable with that for great reason. But Yu was just kind of like, it is what it is. Like, in the same way she was with the dead people in the graves. It's like they're dead, they're gone, and that's it. Like, we don't have to. It's not kind of our problem. Almost. It's very, like, live and let live kind of thing. I don't know. Okay, so this is episode 9. And this is them actually making it to the fish. So this was like a 4-month journey for them, huh? 32, 30, 12, 24, 12, 04. So, yeah, episode 3 was the month of 8. This is the month of 12. So now we're hitting New Year. You know what's going to be a cool plot point, potentially? I don't know if they know... Oh, this is actually crazy. I don't know if they know what the New Year is, right? Because the number on their Things Universe set is going to go from 3230 to 3231. I don't know if they understand calendars. That might be why they never say their age. Because they've never said their age. They don't know how old they are necessarily. Like, what if those things are purely just relics of the past? That's a cool idea. Because we're not only working with the destruction of the city, but, like, largely the destruction of, like, a society as a whole. So, like, concepts like birthdays, keeping track of your age, like the time of the year, might fall apart. And I mean, while they would probably understand the time of the year and how it passes, right? The seasons. I mean, I'm assuming that the climate, like, still has that structure of, you know, spring, summer, fall, winter. Wow, I can't believe I almost forgot those. But it still has that structure that they would kind of maintain to, and, like, that would make sense. But I mean, if you're not counting, which if you don't know that you like should count them, those, like, moments passing, then you're not going to keep track of them and you don't know how old you are. So that actually might be like that'd be a cool minor plot point for them to bring up, the whole 3231 thing, like the year changing, and like the whole New Year's thing. Or maybe it's a concept they're already familiar with and they just haven't mentioned, because that's complete speculation on my part, because my only evidence that they don't know is that they haven't talked about it. But they haven't talked about a lot of things. Man, you being naked all episode, what a thing that was. I almost just said, what a treat. Dude, she looks like uncooked dough. I don't need to be lusting over uncooked dough. Okay, it's November. Cut me some slack. That was a deep one. A deep line right there. You can read into that. Okay, so it's only been 4 months. I mean, 4 months is pretty long. When did we find the fish? Fish moment. What episode was Fish moment? Was that episode 4? Or like 2. I kind of feel like it was episode like 2. These statues are so funny to me as well. And the statue thing is like almost like a memory thing as well, right? It's like a legacy that like maintained. I don't know. Because yeah, I was kind of mentioning like, oh yeah, she burned her book. You little. Yeah, okay, so they found it episode 2. And then episode 4 they started taking, or episode 3 they started taking pictures. Wait, I thought that was episode 4. My notes are already confused. This is why I don't take notes during episodes, by the way, because I get split. But like, I can do it right now, because Thing notes, I can pause. But like when I'm doing a straight run through the episode where I'm trying to read subtitles, I'm trying to constantly be talking because I don't know why I do that, but I do. I don't have enough mental space to do notes. I already struggled to pay attention like a little bit. Don't tell anyone. That's a secret. That's a secret between you and me. There were no photos taken. My notes are wrong, by the way, because I think what the first one is actually episode 4. Okay, so episode 4 to episode 6, I believe, was 2 months, and then episode 6 to 9 was another 2 months. So we've gone almost 5 months. It's like 4.5. I don't really know a significance with that like amount of time specifically, so I'm not going to try to read into that. The previous question I mentioned of like you and Chi having the same grandpa. I mean, maybe, right? I don't freaking know. They look different. What color is your eyes, Chi? Chi has like, yeah, black eyes. Or like gray, very gray eyes. They're like dark gray. They just look so different that I don't see them as being sisters. And I kind of like the idea even more that they're not sisters, that they've been made into something that like the bond of sister doesn't even like necessarily encapsulate because of like how special their bond is between the two of them. Because I do find them to have an extremely special and like really wholesome bond that actually makes my heart like do a little flippy trick, like a dog trick, you know, in my chest, in my rib cage. And to know it's like super like that's like why they tease each other so much and they screw around with each other so much, and like they literally like smack each other. Mostly like you will smack Chi, or no, Chi will smack you because you was doing something stupid. But that's just the relationship, and like there's never been a hard feeling. I feel like, you know, they just understand each other so well because that's all they've had, and that's what all their like time and focus has been. So much so that it's almost like, I don't know, like the lines between them as people, I feel like almost even begin to fade a little bit, right? Because they can navigate in each other's spaces so well. It's like, where does Chi begin and you end, bro? That's a bit much. But it's kind of going in an interesting direction. Yeah, on the point again, though, Grandpa, I don't think that they have the same grandpa. Maybe their family is genetically related. I mean, probably, to a degree. Well, yeah, because think about it. They're in a small community, right? I mean, surely a small community. And then they left it due to some problems. Or maybe they were sent out on like a voyage and like a pilgrimage. But no, I think they left it because there was an issue. Largely because of the use of like all the military equipment. Makes me think that something happened and like they gave them a gun. You know, the girl's a gun. So maybe. Did they give her a gun? I'd have to look at the flashback specifically to see if the gun came with the pack. With the car. But yeah, I think they kind of had to leave. Like they sent the girls away because it was too dangerous. And they sent them on like the only working car they had or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm even thinking like they had to be born out of some woman, each of them, or maybe the same woman for both of them. In which case, it's like kind of crazy to me that like that happened. Just in general, like the idea that a new life is appearing in this world, like doesn't make sense to me almost. You know, because it's so desolate and it's so empty. This more feels like limbo to me than anything else, right? This space that like these wayward souls navigate. Each one has each has a goal, but only you and Chi only got the goal of finding the fish recently and like going up, but they found the fish. Now what are they gonna do? I mean, that was already a really loose goal that I feel like they were almost pursuing out of like, we got nothing better to do. And they've never once mentioned going back to Grandpa, have they? I mean, at least as a plan. They might have mentioned like a desire to go back to Grandpa and like missing that. I mean, at least Chi reminisces on it sometimes, right? And I'm sure Yu does as well, though I feel like we haven't seen that as much. But I feel like there's something there as well. Frick. Am I just trying to get into the episode now? That was a nice 20-something minutes. Ooh, we might be able to hit the hour mark, bro. Okay. I like how I'm gonna open my drawing pad in like a couple weeks or months or however long it's gonna take me to reach that page, and it's just gonna be a bunch of random numbers. And I'm gonna be confused. Okay. Had to ditch that. I'm trying to zoom in. Alright, yeah, so let's watch this episode. Episode 10. I don't know, we did a bunch of talking last episode about like Spiral and no, that was the one prior. The fish. It was about the fish, mostly. That was sad. It was a very sad episode. Even like at the very end, like there was like they felt empathy, like you felt empathy not only for the fish in that she was wanting to save it, but for like the machine that she killed, you know. I'm using the term killed as if it's alive, which is kind of the big question that we were trying to talk about a little bit. Talk about it. Such a hard question to navigate, right? Crazy stuff. All right, let's honestly just jump into this episode, see if they got any I don't know, any mind-boggling questions to throw at me. In 3, 2, 1, bang. Drinking the strawberry lemonade, by the way. Ding. What is going on? Are we printing something? Oh, that burned my throat. What is are we with the robo? A train station. Is that a dead robo? Oh, this is a little ominous. A working train? It was crazy. It didn't have a front. Like a front window. It was like, I think it's fully automated. Oh my gosh, what a shot. Look at that. Use clear in the space with her Glock, bro. Wow, yeah, these upper floors are way better off. Look, we actually get the OP this time. When they didn't play the OP last episode, that was too much. I'm not trying to elicit that type of emotional response right now, okay? I'm trying to relax. This is my relaxation show, man. Maybe that was my mistake, right? Never relax. No. That's true. Untrue, though. You need to relax. At least the show says so, because, like, the bath, man. We take baths all the time in this show. So, something to think about. I don't know what that was either. Okay. Music notes in the background, bullets. This OP is too much, bro. There's so much like there's like undercurrents of desolation, bro. Not in the OP. Well, in a little bit. But I'm just getting stressed. Because like the city as a whole is like a dead city. And it's like only now starting to really hit me. Like in the last few episodes, I mean. That it's like whenever what is the girl's name? Isha? I don't freaking remember their names. The plane girl? She was like saying like this, you're gonna die in the city. Or like the city's going to die. And like that kind of stuff. And like seeing the construction robot take apart the aquarium because it's like allocating resources somewhere else. It feels like a body that's like dying. And it's just desperately trying to like get the right, you know, prioritizing resources, taking the blood from your fingertips and moving it towards your center, that kind of thing. Got me kind of stressed. Oh my gosh, a train episode. What are you doing with your hair? You are so adorable. You looking through your fotografias? What are you doing? You're bored. You're really good at this. I'm looking forward to you doing something. Is that a dead robot? Oh, is it trying to reboot? Oh, this is kind of terrifying. Wait, I kind of love this train. Why? They're sitting in the only bench. Somebody made a bench. That bench wasn't part of the train. Somebody put it there. Another one. She says, I noticed something that's awesome. True, because what do you mean? Relative to the ground. Yeah, this is true as well. You brought it up before I could. We're going way fast. It's just what we're doing relative to. We don't know which way it's spinning, just that it is spinning. True. Oh, your place in the cosmos, it all comes crashing down. How does it feel? It is crazy. That's so crazy. Right, I want to see the two of them get stoned. Wait, a giant robot corpse. This is much more important than marijuana. Are they still alive? Why are they making that thing? That's a crazy phrase. Oh, that's interesting. A moving grave. Do you guys not know? Then why are you on the train? I think they're back to just wild wandering, man. A clock. Jigon. Yeah, why did they design it like that? That does not make sense. Time doesn't have a speed? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, you see me re-sitting in the chair? We're already moving. Why do we have to speed up? Look how cute she is. Is it... Oh, I don't have my phone in my pocket. I threw it over there. Oh, I'm so mad. It is convenient. You know, but one of those. True. No, actually so true. Constant time pressure. I mean, there's the meta thing that I'm recording this, and this video is gonna come out in like what, like 18 hours or something, 18 hours from now. So like I'm on a time pressure right now. It's crazy. We're always on that kind of stuff, or at least in like the modern world. Yeah, what is happening? So yeah, I think she totally nailed it there. Oh. Look like the rations. You're so stupid. Are we not getting off? Careful. Phrasing. Phrasing. That's not enough time. You're gonna crush somebody with that brutalist train, man. Ooh, okay. Our time is constrained by our food. Okay. There's more than food. But why? We already saw the fish. What are we doing? Is it just habit at this point? Oh, that makes me feel something. To think of it all as just habit. I mean, that's why they were even moving in the first place, right? I mean, they were doing stuff before they knew about the fish. Can't believe how much I hated you, episode 1. What a long time ago. Time. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Those are stairs. Can we drive up the stairs? Probably, right? Wavelength. That's so crazy. And like the concept of a moving grave, I'm still thinking about that. I don't even know what that means. Is that music? What was that? Okay, I'm glad I'm not a lunatic. Oh, the radio. Good call. Wait, you didn't return that? Was that in one of the grave things? Yeah, oh my god! I skip back. Feldo whales. That's what I was literally trying to talk about that. She just is built different. I respect it. I totally respect it. Rob from the dead, who care? You can't even rob from them, you're just taking it. I say that not 100%, by the way. Oh, like the rain. I get it. Yeah, yeah. Beatbox. Wait, y'all should karaoke. You do it sometimes too. She does do it. She's doing it right now. You know what's crazy? Every time she does that, the dark song, she closes her eyes. Like, no wonder. Has that changed your mind on something? No? You hear that? Water. Oh, wavelength. I understand. I wonder why. I would like you to explain this some more. That feeling of sadness. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons I could try to prescribe it, right? But, you know. True. To be fair, you made that music. I feel like that's an entire different process than just listening. It was a very, like, transformative thing. Music can do that. Both of them. Yep. We're all in a rhythm too. The rhythm of our heart beating. Bro. Homeostasis moment, bro. Wow, you are smart. You read a lot of good books. Seeing that as a rhythm's interesting as well. More machine corpses? We are in the guts of a actual Doombot. Okay, this is probably how the city got killed. They got Doombots. Y'all just straight lost. Imagine they just both starve to death. Please don't. Please don't ever starve them. Oh, look at that. Oh, not one of these, bro. This reminds me of that one Castle Crashers level. I bet there's at least one person out there that just understood what I meant and it just awakened their brain, bro. Yeah, these things, bro. I can't. This infrastructure is really well kept. The radio's playing. It stopped. Why is it red? Yeah, please. Whoa, actually, it didn't slow down at all? She landed it. Is the car okay? You lives like water, bro. Or like dough. She just... Sorry, I'm trying to listen to the music that they're playing on this radio right now. So it was... The music was sad, not that listening to the music, like... in the way she did made her sad, you know? Because I was thinking it was like how she only got a glimpse of it. That's what was making the sadness, not that the music itself was sad. Ooh. Yeah, just like the yellow sun that you're used to had the happy one. That's interesting. Very dualistic. That was crazy. That was crazy. You come in her hair with a knife? Okay. That was crazy. She looks up to a hole in the roof. The weather is hole. Man, that red lighting actually got me a little bit. I totally like seeing the tear go down Cheese face. That played a note in my heart, you know? That was crazy. Doing a little combing. A little haircut. 105, New Year! New Year, 5 days into January. Capture! Okay, they say capture and there's bullets, okay. Make sure your gun is ready. I ain't trying to get y'all kidnapped. Good point. The rhythm of battle? Whoa, okay. Let me calm down. Man, I'm freaking hungry. Okay, let me calm down. Yeah, I bet these towns got in fights with each other. Building Doombots, artillery firing. Or maybe not the towns as much as like the cities. Or like another country invaded these towns, like these mega cities. But yeah, I don't know, crazy stuff. She's a dog. There's probably chemical contaminants in that water. No wonder she's so dumb. I'm running out of food. Yummy. Can't believe there's only the one fish. There's a lot to think about that fish. You're glad he didn't though, right? You literally just said you wanted to save it. Are you gonna like capture the water by like putting all the pipes in the thing and making a really long pipe full of water? What is that? What was that? It looked like them. Your eye is about to get punched by a worm. Gee, give it a little whack. What a great line. Ah! It's a rat. Why is it? What is that? It looks phallic. I'm gonna say it. Hello? You're kind of cute. A cat? Don't eat the cat. You translating? Wait, I am so... You're talking to me, the cat? It does not look like a cat, I will tell you. Cut? You're a cut. It's a cut. No, don't eat it. It's alive. This one's obviously alive. Hello? What? Bring it. It's fun. I like that. That's a good place to start. Bro, I guess. It can speak. If it has words, it can tell. I'm so confused. What am I looking at? Is it talking through the radio? We're just leaving? See how quick they are to leave new company? Come with me. Oh my goodness gravy god. This guy. It's following them. They have a pet now. How does this thing live? Like, sustain itself? Does it photosynthesize? Capture, bro. We captured the heart of this cut. Creek. I'm so confused. It looks like a mole rat. Oh, she's taking it with them. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's your scarf. This thing is adorable. That was a weird sitting posture I was just in. I'm kind of scared of it. It is adorable. What was that? What was that? Why did that happen? I did not expect new life to, like, evolve in the ruins of this city. What is it eating? There's nothing to... It's just concrete everywhere, man. There's not an ecosystem. There's no rats. That's crazy. Wait, there's the end credit thing? I'll just let the ED play. We gotta farm minutes to get to the hour, bro. I think we'll easily make it. I can probably talk for a while. Sorry, this is a fantastic ED. The OP is kind of like, you know, it's alright. It's just kind of doing its thing. But this is much more my style. The grayscale, them just like doing things. This cat thing isn't in any of these, right? This cat thing is, or the cut is just unprecedented, right? I'm so confused. Why is there a cut? She gets absolutely decked. I'm still thinking about what she was saying about time, man. Are they singing? Wait, is this thing the same as or different from the singing we were hearing? This is different, right? Yeah, because we went to capture. It was 1 a new episode and 2 it sounds completely different. It's just working on the wavelength that the radio can pick up. Okay. Because yeah, the singing we were hearing was completely different. I'm just going to replay some of this scene, by the way. Because this was crazy. That, bro. Seeing the tears go down Cheese Face playing this insane, like, ethereal, sad music as she's looking at something as just, like, is benign the right word? As simple as the sun, you know? Because, like, I don't know, it's so crazy to me that they're, like, they kind of discover, like, music as, like, a concept, in a way. Like, in a different way than they had previously found it. Because previously, it was just... They did the rain thing and it was rhythm and they enjoyed it and there was like this process of creation. And then being able to enjoy what they created, and it was just a like very positive thing, you know, turning something as simple as water, just doing its water stuff, into something like that the higher cognitive mind appreciates, to put it as like verbose as I can, right? But they turned it into something better for their appreciation, like they were able to appreciate it, and I thought that was super cool. But then they kind of, or at least you uncovers and then shares that there's this music now they're hearing on this radio that makes them sad, right? Which is like, oh, like music in the way we discovered it, we only discovered the happy parts, but I mean, soon thereafter, a few months later, right, they figure out like, oh, like it can swing both ways, right? What can be used for happy can also be used for sad. And then the principle gets applied not only to music but to the sun, right? Still following in the rhythm, the thematic tie of the rhythm. And that's just like so pretty to me. And like, I don't know, it's really hard to put into words. It's very enrapturing, might be a good way to put it. Enthralling, perhaps. Yeah, and they really took their time with it too, which I appreciated. Where it's just like there's this long cut at 1444, you know, and that lasts for like 10, 15 seconds, and then we kind of get closer, and all we get is oh, you know, like they're not really talking, they're just kind of like immersed in the moment, and like we're there kind of with them in them, you know, we're not listening to them talk to us as characters, you know, but we're kind of with them watching the sun. I don't know, that was really a sweet moment. It's crazy. This is a crazy show. All the corpses of the robos. She did describe it as a corpse, which like is like consistent with her different view of like or like her newly established view of machines on that level as being alive. So I appreciated that. I want to hear, bro. This is how I feel every day. This image right here, by the way, just FYI, because it's like it's crazy. Because think about it from like their perspective, right? They're always, this would make a funny thumbnail as well. I'll probably do something with this, the red sun though, because that's a lot more visually striking. Or maybe the cut. There's probably a good shot with them in the cut. That's something for me to figure out later. What was I talking about? Time. Oh yes, the pain. So it's like they, at least the way, this is kind of the way I'm like thinking this, right? You is very, or like the both of them. I'll say the both of them. Both of them. The way they navigate the world is through movement, right? And through their speed, because they're moving in their car, and their entire thing is that they're doing the journey. They're constantly moving, looking for food, looking for fish, looking for etc., right? And then it's like like you realizes, oh, like we're moving when we're not moving. We're always moving. The earth is moving way faster than I'm ever moving. And I mean, if that just ain't relatable, right? Where you think you're thinking of your life in a certain way, and then it's just like, oh, I'm just a drop in the pond of that way. And the way like I think of it is not movement, because they're doing it with like speed and movement, but I usually think of it, and I think the more natural way, at least for like modern to think of it, is like with space, right? We are a pale blue dot, to use what Carl Sagan's words, I think. But you know, we are just little baby planet in big universe, and so I mean, we start as like babies in our crib, and then we graduate from our cradle into like the house, you know, for we in a very general term. We graduate to a bigger living space, start to go to school, start to go bigger places, and you're like, wow, the world keeps getting bigger and bigger. But it's like, it becomes exponential, right? It's not that the world keeps getting bigger and bigger as much as like, or like it is exactly that, but not linearly, where it just keeps getting progressively bigger. But like we go to school, and then we figure out like, oh, there's jobs and like networks, and there's people, and there's 7 billion of us, and that's just the planet Earth. And we, you know, we just skipped over countries there, but now we're on planet Earth, and then solar system, galaxy, and known universe, speed of light, etc. And it's just, it can be very overwhelming and crazy, to put it in used words. So much so that even the most stalwart of minds, i.e. Yu's mind, was momentarily paralyzed by the fear. Time doesn't have a speed. Time is relative, right? Little Einstein action up in this hoe. Chi clearly hasn't read any Einstein. Not that I have either. Does Einstein even publish like words? You mostly did equations, right? I don't know. I'm not an Einsteinian scholar. He probably published like some words, right? I'm thinking like texts, you know, probably like all sorts of stuff. Like talks or whatever. Let me look at their conversation a little bit here. There's no reason for us to hurry when we're on the Earth that's moving either. Yeah, there's like, it reminds me kind of like the idea of like, if you had immortality, then that gets rid of like the fire that's constantly under you that gets you to keep moving. Because at least that's how I live a lot, where it's like, I'm gonna die one day, right? That's something that's like, I'm not gonna say it's constantly present in my mind, because that's a bit exaggerated and like a bit edgy, but I'm well aware that I'm gonna die, or at least I somewhat am getting to being well aware that I'm gonna die one day. I mean, that's a really hard concept to like fully grasp, but it's something that's on my mind, right? And so that keeps me pushing forward and doing things because my time's limited. It's fair, and I try to be very cognizant of that, right? And so it's like you can apply the same kind of thing with what she's doing. It's like, oh, like our lives are very foundationally on moving, right? The journey, the tour, the car, the vroom vroom, to the rations, to the fish, to the whatever. I mean, that's what their entire lives have been post grandpa, which was when they were very, very young. And in this hypothetical of, oh, and not even hypothetical as much, but like in this example that they've found of the Earth is constantly moving, so like now you is aware, oh, we're always moving relative to like nothing, or relative to like the universe, I guess, as a whole, because we're on a spinning rock. Her being cognizant of this fact is almost like, well, if I'm always moving, then I don't have to move anymore because I'm always doing it. And she's kind of not doing it in like a serious way, you know. She's not like stopping the car and saying, you know, we don't have to drive anymore. But it's like toying with that idea in the same way that like, if you no longer were going to ever die and you had infinite time, then it's like, oh, well, why should I hurry? You know, I'm always, it's different. It's different concepts, but I do think that they have a similar thematic tie of there's no reason for us to hurry. I guess it would be like passive income would be the example that comes to mind, but I don't know how much I'm trying to pursue that example. Just basically, right? If I make $1 every single day, then like progress is constantly being made, which then kind of absolves me of a need to continue or to keep pushing it. It's like, oh, well, whether I do it or not, I'm still making progress. Completely different though to their, like, it's the best like analogy, kind of similar situation I could probably form to that. The moving graveyard, it's just such an interesting idea. That just makes me want to like, I don't know, write that into like a D&D campaign. You know, they parade around the dead kings and queens of the past in these like Egyptian tombs, you know, and they'll like parade it around the country or whatever in this train, these caravans. You can have that idea. Go write it down. It's yours. That's public domain now. Think about it. Not that it's like I pulled the idea from the show, so it's not like that's my original thought. And it's probably not even their original thought either. Because is any thought original? That's crazy to me. I don't know. I've talked about that way too much. Not even in reactions, but just in general. So I kind of don't talk about that. What is this is good shot. Good shot of them doing their hair. Oh, look at her. She's just chilling, bro. The weather. She looks up. There's a hole. I don't know about the weather. Do you now? You don't know about the weather. Stop moving. What is this? Wait, can we read into this? No, okay. That's a joke. They take a selfie. But yeah, okay. This is interesting, right? They're taking pictures of themselves in these different locations that they're finding interesting. And it's like, in a world that so much memory, in quotes, has been lost, right? She doesn't know the exact speed of the Earth's rotation. She's aware it rotates, so that's some knowledge that's kind of passed down. But we don't know the speed. I don't know if we know about calendars, as I was kind of mentioning in the beginning with how the camera is. and their like lack of discussing their age. We don't know about machines, these higher technologies, the city's origins, why the city's here, all the countries of the world that came before this, you know, the reason the city was bombed, all the lives that were lost. Like, we've lost so much information. And so now in the ruins of this place that all of that's gone in, it's like, I mean, the entire city is a tomb, right? In a way, the tomb of, or it's the corpse. I like corpse the best. It's the corpse of what it once was, and we're constantly aware of the fact and how destroyed it is, and like all this stuff. But in this location, our girls here are trying so, not even trying so hard, but they're actively choosing to dedicate things to memory through the camera, right? And I don't know if they've really considered that the camera is going to outlive them, because hopefully the camera will, unless the ED is true and the camera going to break. Which, if the camera breaks, I mean, that's an entire blow to them as well. Like, we've just lost so much, because now it's like they've lost the personal, each photo they've taken, they've lost if it breaks. That's a crazy thought. But it's like a similar kind of thing, where I feel like they're, you know, in a place that has lost so much, they're trying to capture, to use the title, themselves in this city so that they don't get lost with it, you know? Because, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much they're really considering the longevity of it all, because that's an entire concept itself, right? Like how, like it going beyond them. Notice how I haven't talked about the cut like almost at all, because what is that? I literally thought she was hallucinating when it first showed up. Notice I hit it with a crisp it. It looks like a worm. It looks like an actual uncooked dough. I've said before that they look like uncooked dough, because they do. And you see the way that she messed with Yu's face, you know, like, she does one of them. She does one of them. And she looks like dough, but this thing actually looks like dough. Okay, that was a bit obtuse. I said the same thing like 3 times. Ooh. Sorry, I just enjoy just looking at her, because like, what is she doing? Wow, look at her hands. I like this thumb. Okay. So is it communicating? How well is it communicating? Okay, let's eat it. Think. Held in a sec. How smart are you? Is the radio also a cat translator? Think. Held in a sec. Think. Held in a sec. Like held in a second? We're all stuck in a single moment in time. Think about it. Is that what the cut's trying to tell me right now? And she like holds it up like Lion King, dude. Said. Vo. Huh? Like, it's saying words, but I don't think it's necessarily like aware. I almost just said cognizant for the 3rd time. Aware of like the words it's saying. I mean, it has the capacity to be uncomfortable and scream. Bro, what if this is actually a human that was transformed into a cut? And it was all a I have no mouth and I must scream analogy. Well, sorry, that was random. And it like scamper on her neck. Bro, my cat does this. Literally, like she'll do this exact thing. It is adorable. Adorable. What am I trying to talk about? I don't even know what to say with the cut. Because, like, it's saying words doesn't mean that it's saying words. You kind of get what I mean? Because, like, monkey see, monkey do. Or a parrot. I'll use a parakeet or whatever. The birds that can, like, repeat speech. They're saying words, but they're not using language. Right? And, like, I've seen, like, a video of, like, the dog. And you give the dog a bunch of buttons, and they press the button that says, like, walk, walk, or outside, or pee, 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 I need to pee, I need to pee, you know? And it's like, oh, the dog's communicating with me. The dog, I don't think, understands the language that's being employed, right? As much as it's I mean, obviously it doesn't understand language to the degree of a human. Like, let's not pretend. But it's just like used to certain buttons causing certain responses in the human. So like, is the cut actually doing some like really low tier of higher language talking, or is the cut just babbling, right? And the radio is able to pick up it's nothing talk, you know? Who knows? Great, some great questions. I can't believe our third. I think this might be the third member for now. I mean, this is the first time a character's lasted more than one episode, other than these two right here, and I guess Grandpa if you want to count flashbacks. But is this thing really about to be our third wheel on our tricycle? That's crazy to me, because it's just I don't understand it. It looks genetically modified for it to look like this. Like, I almost feel like this is how it was drawn in the manga, because it was just like what is that? Like, it was drawn like this in the manga, but like adapting it to the anime just makes an entirely different beast. He wants to go with him though. It was lonely. And then she's like, okay, fine. And Yu's like, oh, nice, a snack. Yu is actually maybe a little bit of a psycho. This is why we're glad Chi's here to hold her back. Because if Chi wasn't here, she would have eaten this rodent, this cut. Oh, like, she would have, right? Though, no, maybe not, because she might have held it in her hands and been like, am I really about to club this thing to death with the butt of my rifle? And then not wanted to anymore. Because she would have empathized. I'm hoping. I'm hoping Yu. I'm holding out hope for her. For her mental. For her, like, morality. Like, how do you even figure out morality in this kind of thing? I mean, no, they haven't been evil to each other because they've met two other people in the cut now. And they saved the fish. So, like, I don't know. Nature versus nurture? No, I'm not talking about that right now. You're not tricking me. I'm not getting stuck in that. Wait, I want to see, what was happening with this little end credit again? Oh, they were singing. Bro, in the cut's trying to sing. Wait, how is she singing voice? I'm running it back. And then the cut's just going in the back. They sound like that because they got that radio static built in, which is unlucky, by the way. But at least you get to communicate with us. That's crazy. Chi, you are bad at karaoke. Honestly, though, that's probably gonna do it for this episode. On to that. I think I hit an hour. I'm not gonna know until I edit, but I think we're good. So challenge completed. You know, trying to do a little bit of extra talking, just in general on the videos, because talking's fun. And I feel like shows have a lot to get into, like in general. It's a very general term, but I feel like there's always like. Not always, but there's just so frequently so much to discuss that like it's so easy to just not talk about, because it's easier to just not say words than it is to say words. Believe it or not. I would probably agree to that. But yeah, so I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about. But yeah, let's honestly get into the next episode, episode 11, which is the second to last episode. That's really crazy to me, of Girls Last Tour. I'm really curious where they're gonna go. I mean, they met this cut thing. Maybe that'll be a fun little companion. Still don't know how I feel about it, really, but Pog. But yeah, until the next episode, that's all for this episode. If you like the video, subscribe. If you are new, comment down below if you have anything to say. Just join the Discord if you have anything to say either. Click all the buttons. You already know how it goes. But until next episode, that's all for tonight. Peace.